Welcome back to the Igniting Dreams Within podcast. We solve life and business problems that transform businesses and individuals into happier and more fulfilled ones. I am your host, Ebenezer Mambulo, and today we are talking about health and purpose. It's been said that most people spend their life making money. And while they've made their money, they lost their health in the process. And when now they've got the money that they dreamed of having, they can't enjoy it because now they're going to spend all the money that they worked for or all the money that they spent all their lives pursuing to get back their health that they lost while they were pursuing money. In the previous episodes, when I spoke about purpose in the midst of pain, one of the root causes that got us or got my family into that mess, that ended up being the pain that we had to pay for us or for the family to pursuing their individual purposes, was the issue of health. You see, when I went to the doctors while I was consulting to realize or to find out what was the root cause of what got my father to have a chronic illness, many scientists, when they concluded that chronic illnesses are a result of a lifestyle choice. In other words, someone chose to lead his or her own life in a specific way that without them knowing the price that they were paying, they sacrificed the most important asset that they had in their lives journey and purpose, which was their health. And I was reminded many a time by this one pharmacist, a friend of mine was a pharmacist. And one time, she looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, this is very painful, Mr. Mambulo. I mean, your father spent his entire life being a teacher, pursuing his dream, pursuing his purpose. Now he's retired and he's on pension. But the money that he spent his life saving, the money that he should be enjoying, now it's spent on doctors. And I see you here at the pharmacy every month, collecting medication that's so expensive. And that got me thinking, what price are you and I paying in terms of health that would get us to be the ones who've made all the money, who've made everyone happy, who've fulfilled other people, or who've helped people to discover who they really are? But we've lost ourselves in the process. What benefit would it benefit you and I to spend all our lives pursuing purpose, only to spend the rest of our lives trying to get back the health that we sacrificed in the process? I know what the lack of health does to a person or to a family. The lack of health in our family wiped out. It took out the opportunity that I had to further my education at a university institution. I was registered at the top institution in the world or in Africa. But because there were health issues that my father got into or got, I had to sacrifice my further education training so that we could be able to afford restoring his health. I mentioned in the previous episode, I wanted to sue the doctor who misdiagnosed him. But my family, being religious, they didn't want to do that. But my friend, I don't want you to get into the mess that I got into. No, I don't want you. Make sure, what price are you paying in health? Are you the one who's regularly taking care of their health? In a recent study on microbiome, it's been said that our guts are the one who determine how healthy we are or how sick we would be. And in this new research, it's been found that whatever food might be healthy for you might not necessarily be healthy for me. In other words, the regulation or the maintenance of a healthy gut will determine the health of an individual. And while I was busy studying my father's chronic illnesses or my father's chronic illness, I found that one thing that could get him back into health is the maintenance of a healthy gut. But unfortunately, the product that would help us as a family, or that would help him balance his gut problems, or to balance and maintain a healthy gut, are not yet available in the South African market. Now imagine what would happen if along the line, while we are waiting for the approval from those who regulate and make sure that health products, when they get into the marketplace, are well, how far would his health have deteriorated? And a few weeks back, I was reading this research that shows that back in the day when Hitler's mother, or if it was his aunt, I forgot who was it, but it was a very close person to Hitler, whom Hitler saw battling with cancer so bad to an extent that it took their lives. And this got Hitler very angry and mad that I need to find the cure for this horrible illness or this horrible disease. And to my surprise, he did find the cures. One of his scientists, or a group of his scientists, found and discovered the cure for cancer. But you know, our governments and those who fund our governments, they made sure that they hid the cure for cancer. And now our people, our friends, our families are dying and suffering under cancer's grip. And yet someone decided that we are not going to give people this cure because someone has got a patent for this. In other words, I remember the words that I read on an article that they said that they were interviewing this doctor and this researcher. Why is it that we every year you are spending billions and billions and billions on the research to find cures, but yet we are not getting people cured, but you are managing diseases? Why is it that you are managing diseases instead of curing diseases? And that doctor said that we are in the business of shareholder profit, not in the business of creating or solving health problems. In other words, you might find that the pharmaceutical companies that you are depending on are not fully committed to your recovery and your health, but that they are committed to making as much money out of you as they can. And coming back to the very same issue, one of the chronic illnesses that my father has is dementia. And a couple of months ago, I discovered that I forgot if it was New York Times or which leading media outlet was it. They discovered that one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world, they had hid the cure for dementia, saying that no, they couldn't take it to trials, they couldn't investigate it further, because they said it would pose unforeseen financial difficulties for the company, and they couldn't afford to take on trials and put it to the test and all those lab things that they need. But the reason that they came out to say this was because someone else had discovered the cure, and it was found that it's the same formula that they had patented and trademarked. Now that shows you that the very same thing that's happening in our pharmaceutical companies, or even in our governments, their interest is not on us and our health and our recovery, but the interest is on them making bigger and bigger checks and profiting bigger and bigger, so that the shareholders are happier, fatter, and richer. What price? What price are you paying for your health? What price are you paying in your health that you are sacrificing the most precious asset that you would have? I remember that every time when I'm not taking good care of my health, I remember the words of my pharmacist, who said that he spent all his life working very hard Because she knows my father. My father taught her in high school at Wanalaka. She knows him. She knows him very well, very well. And she would say that he worked very hard, made sure that we went to study and we stayed for study, made sure that we were grounded in principle. It pains me, she would say, to see him spending the money that he worked all his life for when he was going for weekend study on even winter catch-ups and all the holidays when he was at school teaching the children, helping them discover who they really were, but sacrificed his health in the process. What price are you paying for your purpose? Are you taking your purpose very well in its pursuit and not forgetting your health? Or are you the one who is going to wait for a heart attack? Are you the one who is going to wait for an attack of high blood pressure or whatever attack that might be on your health? And yesterday I was talking to my partner and sharing with her that sometimes we are so stupid that we want to touch and transform lives, but we are forgetting our own lives. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing more precious than your health. We might even try to dissect health into all areas. We could even speak about emotional health. Are you letting other people walk on you, emotionally manipulate you? Are you letting people on social media control your emotional health? Are you so weak? Are you such a snowflake that someone can say something bad or negative about you or criticize you and what you're doing with your life that you would fall apart? That is emotional health. Are you emotionally stable? Are you emotionally mature? That you are not a snowflake who is shaped by other people's opinion. What they do shouldn't affect you. We can talk about physical health, what we are talking about. The maintenance of your body, making sure that you exercise regularly, you take good care of your health. We could even talk about food health, taking good care of the food that you are eating, making sure that the diet or the nutrition that you are having, it's well balanced and it's well maintained. We could even go to the extent of talking about spiritual health. Maintaining a healthy spiritual life, making sure that your spirit is well taken care of. What sacrifice are you sacrificing in terms of your health? We could even go to the extent of talking about financial health. How healthy are you physically? How healthy are you spiritually? You know, one of the saddest things, what pisses me off, or what irritates me, is when you go to church and instead of a church being the comfort that you would run into when your life is in pain or when your life is falling apart, to find that the very same place that it was supposed to be a healing center, it's a crucifixion center. You are crucified for what you've done in the past and who you became in the past. Instead of God being the one who heals and church being their comfort, it is being a source of misery. Who are you letting walk on you? Who is an authority? Which pastor are you letting walk on you? That's manipulating you and your health. And I remember a few weeks ago, one of my friends was telling me how emotionally manipulated and how emotionally abused they were by their pastor, who demanded money out of them. He chose a lifestyle, the pastor chose a lifestyle that he couldn't afford. But now he wants the church or his church to maintain him. And he was so arrogant to even say that even if you don't want to be in this church, go. Because they didn't want to give him or to fund his lifestyle. What price are you paying in your health? There is no substitute for a healthy life. There is no substitute for a healthy body. Ladies and gentlemen, if you and I don't take care of our body, tomorrow we are going to be forced to pay someone else to help us to recover the health that we lost. And I always say that the ignorance is a luxury that you and I cannot afford to have. You cannot afford to be ignorant of your health, because tomorrow, one health problem can wipe out your entire pension fund. One health problem could wipe out your entire savings and investment account. There are so many countless stories that I can give you, or case studies that I can give you of people who took care of their health. They were never rich. They took good care of their health. And they lived and fulfilled their purpose with so much joy, health, and happiness. And on the other hand, I also have got case studies of a lot of people who sacrifice their health and their bodies to earn money or to earn an income or to make other people happy or to pursue purpose. And they did not enjoy the rest of their lives because they were constantly going to doctors, constantly going to hospitals, trying to recover the health that they had. Ladies and gentlemen, I am always saddened every month when our grannies go to hospital, when they go to nurses and clinics to be taken care of or to maintain the illnesses, whether chronic or not, that they had contracted or that they had acquired because they had ignored to take good care of their health. You and I, my friend, we cannot afford to ignore our health. Make sure that in whatever you do, whatever dream you've got, whatever dream you are pursuing, don't sacrifice your health in the process. Don't sacrifice your health in the process. Yesterday, I started going to gym, and it was because I realized that it seems like I'm getting some unwanted fat in my body. I'm not going to allow myself to be fat or to not take good care of my health. No. I won't pay that price again. I won't pay that price again. And after a couple of months or after a couple of weeks, I will share with you the progress that I've been making, so that that would inspire you to also take good care of your health. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Igniting Dreams Within podcast, where we solve life and business problems that transform businesses and individuals into happier and more fulfilled ones. I am your host, Ebenezer Mabolo. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this podcast with your family and loved ones and help them to also take good care of their health in the pursuit of purpose. And please do subscribe to my channel so that whenever I post a new episode just like this one, you would be the first to know. Thank you for tuning in. I am Ebenezer Mabolo, your purpose and healing coach.